In 1948, the president of the Food Fair grocery chain went to Drexel Institute of Technology. He was attempting to drum up interest in a way of capturing information about products during checkout. The dean wasn't interested, but Bernard Silver was listening nearby, and he had some ideas. He shared the problem with his friend Norman Woodland, and the two set to work. Two ideas quickly coalesced in their minds: Morse code and movie sound. Morse code represents characters as a collection of dots and dashes, or short and long signals with space in between. The two quickly realized that these could be extended into thin and thick bars with spaces between to make it easier to print and read. As far as actually reading the code, the two used a technology from the 1920s. Lee DeForest developed a way to print patterns at the edge of a strip of film and shine a light through it. A light sensor on the other side of the film converted the brightness into sound waves. This was enough to start putting together an application for a patent. By the way, the original patent application called for the codes to be circular, so they could be read from any direction. The two then quickly realized one big problem with this idea: peanut butter is not transparent. See, the prototype they built required a ridiculously powerful light source to reflect the pattern to the light detector tube. This much power had a nasty habit of setting the paper on fire. What they needed was some sort of focused light and reflection, and a better way to process the signals. Neither of these existed yet because it was still the 1950s. Woodland worked at IBM at the time, and they offered to buy the patent. IBM's offer was a bit low, though, and the pair instead opted to sell the patent to Philco, who in turn sold it to RCA. In time, RCA would shake up a handful of industries, but the first real use of the technology was due to David Collins. David Collins worked for Sylvania, and Sylvania had recently developed a new computer-based tracking system. They were primarily interested in military applications, but Collins pointed out that the railroad industry was in need of a tracking solution. Using a similar pattern of orange and blue stripes, they were able to get freight cars tracked nationwide. When Collins proposed that this idea might be in demand elsewhere, Sylvania said they weren't interested. So Collins left in 1967 to form his own company, Computer Identics. Speaking in 1967, remember the need for some sort of focused light system? By this point, lasers were starting to become more commercially viable, and Computer Identics were taking full advantage of them. Working with General Motors, Computer Identics proved that there were commercial applications for the scanning technology. These demonstrations caught the attention of the grocery industry. Again, 20 years later, we'd finally come full circle. RCA wanted a piece of this grocery stored barcode business. RCA also wanted to use the original bullseye barcodes written up in the patent. Printing problems made this impractical, and cooler heads prevailed, specifically those at IBM. They developed the Universal Product Code, or UPC, that you recognize from products all over now. And after some test runs, in 1974, the first purchase of a barcode-scanned object was made at a Marsh grocery store in Troy, Ohio. The purchase? A single pack of chewing gum. That's all for now. See you next time on NeatSheets.